Cool, cool.
Hello, and welcome to Influential Thursday on the Joan Henry Show. And while I wait for a few more folks to join this amazing broadcast, I would like to use this time to hope that you are staying safe and that all is well in your world. So, again, I'm just waiting a few more seconds just to give a few more folks to join the live broadcast and I will move forward. So, again, welcome to the Joan Henry Show. I'm your host, of course, Jamaican Joan, and I'm super excited about tonight's broadcast. And if you're tuning in for the first time, the Joan Henry Show is designed to bring you a weekly series of exciting programs that will inform, educate, and inspire you to start or take your business to another level. The show featured topics such as mindset, goal setting, walking in your purpose, and a host of other, turning your passion into profit. And of course, a host of other business and motivational topics. So let me use this time to shout out all those who are watching the live broadcast and also to those who will be watching the watch party. So tonight's influential quote comes from Eleanor Roosevelt, and she said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Let that sink in, right? So, of course, tonight my featured guest is Mr. J. Hunter Lee out of Florida. So, hello, Mr. Lee, and welcome to Influential Thursday on the Joan Henry Show. How are you doing today?
I am marvelous two times, and so are you. Thank you for this opportunity to join you today. It's a
Okay.
pleasure.
All right. Awesome. So, to kick things off, I'm going to ask you to share a little bit about yourself. But see, I know you, but my viewers, they may not know you, right? But in that mix, I need for you to say that punchline signature statement that you know I love to hear so much. I want you to say that first, then I want you to say who you are.
Well, absolutely. Well, if it's going to be, it's up to me to fulfill my dreams and possibilities with dedication and motivation to inspire thousands from all nations. When times are tough and breaks you down, just smile with toughness and rebuild from the ground. During tough times, adversity is a lot. Just remember, time flies, but you are the pilot. Good evening.
There you go.
Yes, I'm born and raised out of Washington, D.C. I've done everything my parents asked me to do, go to school, get good grades so I can get a good job. I did those things. The good job just was not good. I came here in Florida, in the Tampa Bay area, 6 years ago, and my business had done so much better. You know, DC Public School, and I'm a Gemini. Gemini's in the house. Gemini season is on its way, so y'all better watch out because we're coming.
Okay. All right. So with that
Absolutely.
being said, as an entrepreneur, what has motivated you to becoming an entrepreneur?
What motivated me to become an entrepreneur is that I started seeing a lot of successful people. I've started with a company, a multi-level marketing company back in the 90s, around 1996. And the guy who, one of the people who recruited me in that business opportunity was successful. And I said, man, I want to wear suits like this guy and shoes, alligator shoes, and all this stuff. You know, driving Mercedes. I want to do this stuff, man. I can't seem to get these things working 9 to 5. So he said, well, you have to be your own boss, and you have to, put a lot of hard work in. It's a lot more hard work being an entrepreneur than it is being an employee. So he tutored me, he mentored me, he showed me the ropes of being an entrepreneur. He told me the books I needed to read. And those books helped to formulate and change my mindset. And from then, from the 90s all the way up until around 2008, I was in and out of being an entrepreneur. But my defining moment to really, really hit hard at being an entrepreneur is when I got laid off from a job. Actually, from 2008 up until 2011, I had got laid off from a job the day after my mom passed away. And at that point, I said, you know what? I will never put my life in the hands of anyone else again. Because here's what I know. A person who controls your salary controls your life. And my parents told me as a child, when I went to grade school, they said, well, you have to do these things. You have to go to school because you're not an adult. You have to go by the schedule we give you and the schedule the government and the school system give you. When you're an adult, you can do what you want to do. And when I became an adult, I found myself following the same schedule that I was following as a child. I said, wait a minute, my mother told me when I become grown, I can do what I want to do. I still get up in the morning. I went to work just like we went to school. I had an hour lunch break just like we did in school. And then after lunch break, we go back to work. And then we get off, we go home, and we go do it again the next morning. So they were training me from grade school to live in a rat race. Not me, not again. And when I lost my mom, my mother is my shero. She told me everything I needed to do to work hard. And she left this earth living her passion. And I said, you know what? She just confirmed everything that I was doing off and on throughout my life up until this point. So I just hit the ground running. I didn't look back. I moved down here to Florida and elevated my business. I have multiple streams of income, and things are just looking very, very well for me.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. So what would you say are the three attributes of an entrepreneur, and why would you pick those three attributes?
The three attributes that I would have, the first attribute is be a problem solver. You got to be a problem solver because your ability to solve problems will determine how much money you make. Because if you can become a problem solver, if you can solve your own problems, guess what? There are going to be people who want you to help them solve their problems, and they become your clients. Second thing is, in addition to solving problems, number two is you have to be tenacious. You have to be tenacious because you're always going to face an uphill battle. Facing an uphill battle is one of the main ingredients to being successful. You gotta face the grain. I mean, it's not going to be easy because if it was easy, everybody and their grandmother would be doing what you're trying to do. Just like going in the gym, you can't get stronger, you can't get muscles unless you have resistance. Resistance is you the same way with being successful, the same way with being an entrepreneur. You're always going to work against the grain. If you're going downhill and you're finding success, it's probably not going to be worth having it. The third attribute is the ability to cleanse yourself from negative and cynical people. Do not share your goals with trolls. They'll be the first people, and let me tell you, your closest friends and your family will be the first people, the first line of people to shoot down your goals and dreams. So keep your goals to yourself. Share your goals to those who inspire you as your mentor. You share them with them because what they're going to do is hold you accountable to those goals and dreams. So that's who you share your goals to. Tell them what you want to do. And do not share your goals with trolls because they'll shoot it down. Negative environments, negative people, get it out of your life. I don't care if it's your job. Don't say that you stay in there because you're there for the money, because that's going to stress you out. MIT did a study some years ago on heart attacks, and they found that most people who suffer heart attacks suffer that heart attacks between 5 and 10 a.m. on a Monday morning. 87% of the population hate their jobs, and 87% of the population is working paycheck to paycheck. So you are living in a state of toxicity, and you hate your job. You bring the toxic environment to your home, or you take the toxic home and bring it to your job. Either way, you're living in a pool of negativity. So you got to cleanse yourself from negative and cynical people. I don't care if it's your own grown children.
Okay. All right. So let me play devil's advocate here, because as an entrepreneur, you had worked in the past, somebody's job. So for those who are still working let me say their 9 to 5 or the good old government, is that such a bad thing?
Yes and no.
Okay.
The yes part is you still got to pay your bills. You still got to eat. You still got to feed your family. And the no part is that will actually cause procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the money is good. The money is there. Okay, I'm taking a break today. But how big is your why, really? If your why is that big, your why should get you out of that job. So I tell people, if you say your kids are your why, your parents, they're your why, okay, show me, prove it. Because if your why don't make you cry, it's not a big why. So looking at, you say, okay, I'm gonna keep my job, but I'm gonna work on my business part-time. To me, in a way, that's trying to operate with a safety net. And there is no safety net. You have to jump off that cliff and build your plane on the way down. That's being a hero. That's being tenacious. That's being stubborn to poverty.
Okay, so let's say you have 50 friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those 50 friends listen to you, and now those 50 friends become entrepreneurs, right? What
Yes.
would business for you look like after that? Because now the people who weren't entrepreneurs before, they're now entrepreneurs. These are your 50 friends I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now those 50 decide to become entrepreneurs. What would business look like for you then? Say
Business
these
look
are
like
the only 50 people you have in your life, then what would things look like for you then?
it will still be an uphill battle because my goal is to inspire 50,000 people a year.
Okay.
So 50, it won't even scratch the surface of the goal that I'm trying to reach.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm very, very happy that there is 50 people out of that 50,000 who decided that they're going to make a change in their life. They want to find success in another way other than relying on a paycheck that doesn't have their name on it.
Okay. So share for my viewers, you said that you have multiple streams of income. You mentioned that a few minutes ago. What are some of those streams? Can you just share with us about that?
Sure. I do mentoring. I do mentoring to some special need people. I do help them. That is my way of reaching back and trying to pull people up with me without having to look at the money aspect of it. I do get paid for it, but if I can take that money really and just give it to charity because it's from the heart. It's not for the money.
Mm-hmm.
Another stream, I have a company called Wealth Summit Tours, where we did the Tampa Bay Wealth Summit down here in Tampa with Lisa Nichols was our keynote speaker. We're getting ready to put that back on track. Once the pandemic and the lockdown is over, we'll be picking that back up next year in 2021. That'll give the earth a chance to clear out the virus and put everybody back in auditoriums again. We thinking that should happen by next year. So we have the Wealth Summit tours. We're going to be touring the world. We're going over to Amsterdam. We're going to Perth, Australia. We're going over to South Africa, different parts of Africa, and in Canada, as well as Belize and Fiji. That's another stream. Another stream of income. I've just opened and started a developers business real estate developer company called JHL Real Estate Development. Our first project is the largest I've ever seen. We're going to be building a luxury smart city in Egypt. And it's actually going to be the largest city in the world because the city is going to connect 3 countries. We're going to connect Egypt, Libya, and Greece across the Mediterranean Sea. And after we get started on that, our next city project will be in Tangier, Morocco. So we're building 10 cities over across the Atlantic.
Okay, that sounds exciting.
Yes.
So you are also a motivational speaker, right?
Yes.
So what was your defining moment as a speaker?
My defining moment as a speaker, I always wanted to speak. I knew that I was supposed to do something in front of an audience. When I was young, I used to break dance. I used to do the pop. I used to rap. I used to always do something in front of an audience. So I knew, having that, I just said, okay, now I'm older. I'm not breakdancing anymore. I got to find something. And I listened to Brian Tracy once said, if you can go back to your childhood passion from the age 7 to 14, you will find out what you're supposed to be doing as an adult. And I said, wow, I can sing, I can rap, I can dance, all of it in front of an audience. One thing I haven't tried to do yet was speak. So I said, well, okay, I think I'm going to give that a shot. And this is the time I was actually coaching a football team up in Washington, D.C. And the parents said, the parents of my players were saying the same thing. We think you should be a speaker because we like the way you speak to our children on the team. I said, okay, well, if we can rank top 5 in the city, I'll give it a shot. And at the end of the season, we actually ranked 3rd. So I gave it a shot, learned to be a speaker. I started listening to Les Brown, watching the movie The Secret. I started listening to Tony Robbins, John C. Maxwell, all these major speakers. Jim Rohn, he was alive at that time. Zig Ziglar was alive. I was listening to everybody. And I said, wow, these people really know what they're talking about. And so I said, what are they reading? They started quoting books. I started reading a lot of books. I started with Think and Grow Rich. Then my next book was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Then I started reading Who Moved My Cheese. I started reading 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. I started reading a whole lot of these books. And I said, wow, I'm coming up with content in my head. I need to put it out there. So I've been putting out my morning quotes ever since over 10 years now. And one time I was putting them out on text messages. I was putting them out on social media. And one time it reached a certain person out on Twitter. And that person researched and looked me up and called my phone. I answered the phone. I said, hello. Somebody said, young man, do you write quotes? I said, I don't know, I guess. He said, I love that quote you just posted. I said, what quote? He said, you said a quote that said, you are the author of your life. If you're affected by other people's opinion of you, then you have given them the copyrights to become your editor. I said, yeah, I posted that early this morning. He said, I love that quote. I want to use that quote someday. I said, well, who am I speaking to? He said, this is Les Brown, Mamie Brown's baby boy. And I almost hung the phone up. I thought he was playing. So at that point, Les Brown and I have been, we exchanged numbers. He said, keep this number in your phone. This is my number. And I have books as well I want you to check out. And I read one of his books. And then he told me he was in town up in Maryland. I met him for the first time at that time. And ever since then, I've been in his class. He's been teaching me. He tutored me. He beat me up at times. And I said, wow, this is amazing to actually meet Les Brown. And from there, I met James Arthur Ray from the movie The Secret. I met Lisa Nichols. And I started getting in a lot of networking opportunities to be around these people. And they just been taking my speaking career, to another level. It's been amazing.
Okay, awesome. And so if you're watching and if you have a question for Mr. Lee, please type that question in the feed and we'll see if he can answer those questions, right? So moving on, you mentioned that you're also an author. So what, or should I say, who inspired you to write your first book?
Dr. Willie Jolly. I've been trained and mentored by Dr. Willie Jolly. Also, he's a phenomenal guy. I love him to death, and he's the one that told me that my book would go places that I've never been. And he was right. I mean, people buy my book over in the UK, in Australia. That's why I named those places for our tour, because people are buying my book in those areas. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. So Dr. Willie Jolly has been a mentor of mine as well. You know, I gotta give props where props is due. This is not all me. You know, you got to think, if anything, if I was an impact on anyone's life, you have to thank these people. Les Brown, you got to thank Dr. Willie Jolly. You have to thank Lisa Nichols. And yes, you still have to thank James Arthur Ray. Those people had some positive impact in my life. So I give all that credit to those people.
Awesome. And speaking of Dr. Willie Jolly, I'm sitting here. I look to the left and I'm looking dead at his book. It only takes a
minute to change your life.
Change your life. I got that book at one of his conference where he autographed it for me, and I display that book in my studio at all times because it's a great book. And speaking of your book, what is your book about?
My book is called Change Your Mind, Change Your Life. Okay. The book is geared to help you become an entrepreneur and help you think futuristic. You know, think futuristic. Don't just think about being an entrepreneur now. Think about it being it now, but still think about where you're going to be years from now. Are you going to be a life changer? Are you going to change the world? Are you going to put a dent into the universe? So it's about staying ahead of the curve. You know, we have to understand the age that we're in. We are no longer in the information age. People still think that the information age was just introducing us to technology. We are now in the age called the connected age, where everything is web-based. You can operate your locks on your doors from your cell phone. And you guys know they putting up another higher frequency, the 5G towers, which is Chinese technology. The United States is not going to be able to use it until another 5 years because of the things that they have in mind to use them for. 4G, 5G, who knows? They might come out with 6G in another 8 to 10 years. So we're in a connected age where everything is web-based. Look what you and I are doing right now. We're reaching out to people and we don't even know who's watching us. We're not sitting in front of anybody. This is a web-based technology. So that's what my book is telling you about, you know, understanding the age that you're in, understanding the ages that we were in, the Stone Age, agriculture age, the industrial age, information age, and now the connected age.
Okay, sounds like a plan. So you have just highlighted your success and your success factors and everything. So what words of encouragement would you offer to someone looking to find their purpose?
If the words of encouragement that I would give is, don't look to find your purpose. The purpose is already looking for you. What we seek in life is also seeking us. Your focus is on abundance and prosperity. If you focus on those two things, how you're going to do something is going to take care of itself. How is none of our business. Our business is on abundance and prosperity. In order for us to have that focus and do those things, we have to have a full commitment to it. What is the definition of commitment? Doing what you said you were going to do long after the mood you said it in has left you. So you have to have a full commitment to what you're doing. Understand what your purpose in life is. I think it was Winston Churchill who said we have two of the greatest days of our lives, the day we were born and the day we find out why. Find out why you're here, because most people just live their life trying to survive. And we were not made to survive. We were made to thrive. So that's very, very important.
Right. So with that being said, what is your personal definition of success?
My personal definition of success is helping as many people as you can.
Okay.
It's not the money. It's not the house. All of those are just rewards for the people that you touch. Those are Nobel Peace, your Nobel Peace Prize. Mm-hmm. So you help as many people as you can. You know, don't do the other route by getting rich off of keeping other people ignorant. Don't do that. You're going to get more coming to you if you you know what? Zig Ziglar said it perfectly. He said, if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. So success is how many people's lives that you've blessed, how many people's lives have you touched with God allowing you as a tool to do those things.
Okay. All right. Sounds like a great response. Okay, and Miss Laura Pondexter, she is shouting you out. Your first she liked your quote. She said great quote, and she also
Hi,
typed
Laura.
to your last response. So yeah, so she's feeling what you're saying right now, right? And Miss
Thank
Laura,
you.
also, she's gonna be on Influential Thursday in next month. So we'll have
Awesome. I can't wait.
her. Yes, and so. How have you been maintaining your business during this pandemic lockdown?
During this pandemic, and this is the challenge I put out to all motivational speakers. 80% of the population is out of work. I'm not going to sell you a mentoring kit. I'm not going to sell you coaching sessions. I'm not selling you any of that. You're not working. Most people who follow us entrepreneurs have a 9 to 5. Why? Because they're trying to get out of the 9 to 5. So what I'm doing is putting aside me and focusing on the life of everybody else. And I mean that in this way. When I say I challenge other entrepreneurs, other motivational speakers, let's put aside our kits. Let's put aside the things that we want to sell and start focusing on keeping our people, keeping humanity from getting these mandated vaccines that they're going to come up with. We understand 5G, and this is another church, another sermon for another Sunday. But I'm focusing very heavily on educating people on the immune system. You want V in vitamins, not V for vaccinations. God has created the immune system to do exactly what it's supposed to do in terms of fighting off any antigens that comes into the body. The immune system is geared. The immune system actually has cells called memory cells, which is your white blood cells. And your memory cells makes a record of any antigen that it beats. And it stores that memory. And if that antigen ever come back to the body, the immune system kills it before your body can even notice that it's there. And I want people to be educated on that. I'm not getting paid to tell people this. I don't care about the money. All my money stuff, I put it aside because I want to focus on people's lives. I want people living, because if you're dead, you can't buy my stuff anyway. 80% of the population and 78% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck. So if they're out of work, they get a study of 4.4 million people a week ago filed unemployment. This week, an article came out saying 3.3 million people filed for unemployment. Why am I trying to sell you something? Why don't I try to get your mind on focusing on your vitamin D's, your vitamin C's, your vitamin A, your black seed cumin oil, being healthy and boosting your immune system, laughing a lot. All of these things boost your immune system. You're going to get some viruses. You're going to get sick. But guess what? Your immune system is strong enough to fight these things off. And that's where I want people to be focused on their internal health, not rolling up a sleeve, asking for them to put a needle in it.
Okay. And so while we're not only nearing the end of this broadcast, but while we're on the topic of, surrounding the COVID pandemic, what words of inspiration would you offer to someone who's going through, whether it's the person themselves or the family members or friends? Because it's a tough time. It doesn't matter, even if you're not the one going through, even if you don't have COVID, you go through the same motions because somebody, you have a friend, you heard of someone, you read about it. What words of encouragement would you offer in a time like this to those who are affected by this COVID-19 pandemic?
Turmeric, raw onion, raw garlic, ginger, cinnamon stick, cut it up, boil it in the water 3 times a day, drain it, drink it, with honey added on at the end of it, and drink it 3 times a day, and load yourself with vitamin C. If you don't have the strength to go outside to get your vitamin D, make sure your bed is by your window where you can raise your shades. Let the sunshine comes in and give you your vitamin D. Come from out the covers. Let your body soak in all of that vitamin D, and you shall be fine. You shall beat COVID-19 within a week or two.
Right. So that's from the health aspect.
Yes.
I'm kind of more referring to the mental aspect.
Meditation.
Okay.
Meditation. Your meditation. Here's why I'm saying meditation, because I know everyone is praying. And here's the thing. Prayer is when you talk to God. Meditation is when God's talking to you.
Okay. Okay. So that's the word. You not only pray, but you meditate.
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So before we go, is there anything else that you would like to share with my viewers that I personally haven't asked you? And you can also include how people can find you, follow you on social media. All right.
Sure. All the social media platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, just put in J Hunter Lee. And you should find me on all of those platforms. My website is jleespeaks.com. My real estate development business is JHL Real Estate. I'm sorry, JHL Real Estate Development. And that website is jhlrealdev.com.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to, once we're done, to type that information in the feed to make sure.
Absolutely.
It's clear what your contact information really is. So we are at the end of our broadcast for tonight.
Awesome.
So first of all, again, let me thank you for taking time out to join me on Influential Thursday. This has been an amazing month. This month was titled Hear Him Roar. And so with Mr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. out of Baltimore, followed by Mr. Regional Foreman out of Florida. Then we come on back down to Baltimore and we hit it up with Mr. Derek Barnes.
Yes, Derek was awesome.
Decided to go across the Caribbean Sea, and then we have Mr. Colin Henry out of Clarendon, Jamaica, West Indies. And so we just sealed the deal with you, Mr. J. Lee, out of Florida again. So this has been an amazing month on Influential Thursday with all the guys. But don't sleep on the ladies, because I have another amazing lineup of ladies. Kicking things off, we're going to have Miss Laura Poindexter, who is tuned in right now. Then we have Vitrula Lee, who's going to be next in line. Then we're going to have Miss Ebony Wheeler, and Miss Ebony House will close it out. So we have this upcoming month is going to be on fire with the ladies.
All right. Go ahead, ladies.
Yes, can't wait for all of that. So thanks to everyone again who have tuned in locally and of course internationally, my Bahamas crew, Canadian crew, England crew, and of course Jamaica. I'm a proud Jamaican, right? So I got to be extra when I say that. So
as they say, bop, 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 bop.
Miss Bernadette, thank you for tuning in. Auntie Lenora, thank you for tuning in. Ebony, giving me the fire signal or whatever that is. She's trying to tell y'all that she's going to bring fire to the show. So we are looking forward to an upcoming amazing month. And thank you guys, all the guys that have participated for the month of April. So viewers, I invite you to join me next time. Same time, next time, not next week, same time, same platform for another exciting episode of Influential Thursday. And if you could hop on over to, YouTube, And subscribe to my YouTube channel. You could type in The Joan Henry Show, or you could type in Influential Thursday, and that's the home of all these amazing broadcasts. And you could see previous broadcasts if you have missed those. So just show me some love over there. Just go on over to my YouTube channel and subscribe. And if you are watching and you would like to be a guest on The Joan Henry Show, please inbox me and we'll make that happen. So as always, remember to put in the work to make your dreams a reality. It's not going to happen just because you want it to happen or you hope it will happen. Hope is not strategy. You got to put in the work to make your dreams, your aspirations to become a reality. Okay. And remember that it takes both rain and sunshine to build a rainbow.
That's
Thank you again, Mr. Lee. I have been your host, Jamaican Joan. And until next time, now you take care and make this a $1 million day. Jamaican Joan and Jay Hunter Lee, we are out.